Welcome to the Global Business Summit on Creative Services at this glorious British Business Embassy here at Lancaster House. Enjoy your tea and coffee. I'll keep talking, but we're going to have a proper break for breakfast shortly. My name is Fiona Bruce. I'm your facilitator for today. I work at the BBC these days, but one of my first jobs was in advertising. So the whole kind of vibe that we're giving off today is something that's sort of familiar to me, and certainly there are some familiar faces here that I recognise from my past life as well. My main memory of working in advertising was not just the kind of creative buzz, the intelligence, the curiosity about life that I found really inspiring actually for the 4 or 5 years that I did it. But also we partied very hard because I worked in advertising in the 90s and that was quite a time. And I remember particularly one day at well, I'll just say at BNP, what the hell. I remember once in particular, my account director, I was very junior, I was just this kind of amoeba in the hierarchy of BNP, but my account director had partied so hard the night before that the pitch the following morning for a very important client, he was so hungover he had to pretend to faint because he couldn't remember the rest of what our pitch was about. And we even went so far as to call an ambulance because we were all in on the pretense. Anyway, it is much more Spartan now, I know, from my friends in the business and also my husband who still works in the business. Anyway, I decided I'd switch to a career in journalism just for rest, really. My job now is, of course, amongst other things, is to tell you the news, but many of the people on today's agenda are making the news, and they are the brains behind some of the world's most iconic brands, buildings, products and creative companies, and they're here today. People with not only amazing talents, but amazing commercial success to show for it as well. And I just wanted to mention someone who I noticed earlier on, and since the opening ceremony has become a bit of a hero of mine, which is Thomas Heatherwick, who's the designer who created the cauldron, and it was just an amazing, amazing thing for us to see. Some of the questions that we are going to be tackling today at our session. How can a design-led approach increase revenues? How can you get the best out of a brand in a digital world? What are the strategies for success in creative services, whether we're talking architecture or advertising? Now, before I introduce you to your formal hosts for the day, just a few slightly dull but nonetheless necessary housekeeping announcements. Do please all switch your electronic devices to silent. I think the first one that goes off will be made to compete in the 10,000 metres outside in the Mall. So there's an incentive for you. If a fire alarm sounds, it's real. So follow the instructions of the staff. I expect you know, but if you don't, please be aware that today's events are being recorded and some of them may be broadcast live to other venues. It's been hugely oversubscribed today, actually, so we're going to be broadcasting it to other venues so that people can see it. If you get a chance, if you haven't already, to walk around Lancaster House, I mean, I've been here a couple of times before. It is an astonishing building in its own right, but it's been transformed into a showcase of the best of British talent. Grayson Perry's amazing design there. Some of the artwork is just astonishing. The furniture, some of the statues. There's an incredible pavilion outside, which has been designed by Worth Thistleton. You'll be enjoying coffee there at 10:30. There are Damien Hirst, there are Bridget Riley's. I mean, this is just a real feast. So don't just stick to the rooms you're going to if you get a chance. Just wander around because it's just utterly tremendous. You can use your Samsung tablets to find out more about the products on display or any information you want about anything you see. Now, we've a lot to get through, so without further ado, let me introduce you to your formal host for the day. I'm not quite sure what that makes me, the kind of casual, relaxed, hung-out host, I don't know. Anyway, Jeremy Hunt has been called to another meeting. These are very busy times for ministers, as you can imagine. We hopefully will see him later. But here to explain the importance of creative industries in the UK, I'm delighted to welcome Ed Vaizey, Minister for Culture, Communications and Creative Industries. Ed.
Thanks very much. I didn't realise I was your formal host. How exciting. I thought I was just making a few brief opening remarks. Anyway, I'm absolutely thrilled to open the Creative Services Day at the British Business Embassy. This is a fantastic thrill for me, and in fact, most of the people in this room are rock stars, as far as I'm concerned. I'm absolutely thrilled to be the Minister for the creative industries, and I have an absolute passion for our creative services. So I think we have, in the UK, some of the most successful advertising companies in the world. We have some of the leading fashion designers. British fashion has, I think, been transformed in the last 20 years. Some fantastic designers and brilliant architects. And in fact, just to pick up on what Fiona was saying in terms of hero worshipping from the podium, it was indeed a huge honour to be at the opening ceremony and see Thomas Heatherick's cauldron rise to the surface. And the story behind it is, I think, absolutely extraordinary, and I think represents British creativity at its best. I think, being a bit chauvinistic and patriotic for a minute, I think only the British could reinvent the Olympic cauldron, and I think Thomas has set the bar. But also, walking around the Olympic Park yesterday and seeing some of the stunning buildings that have been built by some of our greatest architects, like the Aquatic Centre built by Zaha Hadid, or the basketball arena built by Chris Wilkinson, and many other brilliant British architects, I think shows British creativity at its best and at the heart of the Olympics. And I think that is what we're going to discuss this morning, about how design-led services can really make a difference. So just to be slightly more formal, I'd like to thank UKTI for organising this excellent event. I know UKTI is doing a fantastic job, both for British businesses that want to export overseas, but also overseas investors who want to come to Britain to participate in our successful creative economy. And I want to extend a very warm welcome as well to everyone who's come from overseas to this business embassy. I hope you enjoy the day, and I hope you also get a chance to see some of the events at the Olympics. Today's event is all about creating a platform to encourage global business partnerships and investments. And the Olympics gave people, 1 billion people around the world, a unique example of UK creativity. To pick a sort of motif from the world of advertising, I gather it was worth between £2 and £5 billion worth of advertising airtime. So in a sense, the Olympics has already paid for itself in projecting Britain's image across the world. And as I think I indicated in my opening remarks, I think that we would be in competition for a gold medal in the creative industries. We have less than 1% of the world's population, but our creative sectors export more than £9 billion worth of services. And I think we can claim probably to be the largest creative sector per head in the world. We bring in inward investment. Foreign visitors spend around £4.5 billion a year exploring British culture and heritage. And in the 7 years up to 2010, London attracted almost twice as many creative industry foreign direct investment projects as any other European city. And today's programme features some of the UK's most influential creative minds, together with some of their clients from both the UK and overseas. You'll hear this morning from Martin Sorrell, who I also introduced on Friday. He's doing an enormous amount of work with us at the British Business Embassy. Christopher Bailey from Burberry, of course. Dejan Sujic from the Design Museum, one of our foremost design minds. And of course, the architect Richard Rogers. They're all global figures who command great respect, both within the creative industries world and in wider business circles. And many of the speakers involved in the rest of the day are also in the room. I think the cast list is truly impressive and represents the best of UK creative talent. So thank you all very much for coming, and I very much look forward to the day. Thank you.